The following is a presentation of the Western Ontario Super Hockey League. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I forgot. I'm sorry. It's a podcast, and I'm inside my house, like I need this thing, right? Hello again, everybody. Andrew Rogers here, the host of the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast. It is great to be here with you guys. It's finally here, the day that you've all been waiting for, the official league announcement of the Western Ontario Super Hockey League. Very, very, very exciting. First of all, for me, I just want to say from the very beginning here that I am absolutely honored and pleased to be a part of this team, be a part of this league in this capacity. For those of you who don't know, I am the head of the social media and public relations for the league. There will be other things that that will come to light that I've also been taking on in terms of this league. That'll be announced at a later date. But for now, I am the host of the podcast. This is our first episode, our debut episode, and we thought it was only fitting that we use it to do the league announcement. And our guest appropriately on the first episode is the Western Ontario Super Hockey League president, Jamie Petrie. I'll introduce him in a moment. Like I say, there's a lot to cover between me and Jamie, and that's the bulk of this podcast, so I don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking. There is a lot of information to take in, but there's enough of the information that we're going to cover today that's going to be interesting and informative enough for you guys to take away from the very first episode. There will be subsequent episodes that will come out of this that will be scheduled at a later date. I will also post the social media where you guys can find us so that you can find out the information that's necessary as well. Remember, so you can find all the podcasts on our YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe to that, and so you don't miss a beat on all the exciting news that is from this great league for the WOSHL podcast. Like I said, I am Andrew Rogers, your host, and what we're going to do now is just cut right to the chase here. This is our official launch video for the league, and when we come back from that, we will be joined by our guest. He is the president of the Western Ontario Super Hockey League. His name is Jamie Petrie. And on the other side of that, we'll be ready to go for this edition of the podcast. This is episode number 1. All right. We are pleased to be joined at this time by our guest. Very honored to introduce him at this point. He's the reason we're all here. He's the reason why this podcast is happening. He's the reason why this whole league is happening. We saw the video. We're all hyped up, and we're definitely excited. It's at this time that I introduce the president of the Western Ontario Super Hockey League, Jamie Petrie. Jamie, it's great to have you here, pal, and welcome to the first episode of the podcast, man. Great to have you.
Thanks, Andrew. We're excited. As you can see by the video, we've named some teams. There will be more to follow. We are currently speaking to 13 different organizations about potentially joining our league. We're a new league. We're hopefully your new hockey fix. We're what you would call a hybrid. We're in between an intermediate and the old senior leagues.
Okay.
Exciting opportunity for fans, exciting opportunity for graduate junior players. As you know, with right now with the OA thing with the juniors, we have a home for them. We have a home for those players. We have a home for graduating university and college players, and we have a home for the minor pro player that wants to come and play in a competitive league.
Okay.
Our motto in our league is we put on events more than hockey games.
Interesting. Can you just divulge into that for a bit? Like, what do you mean by that?
Well, what I mean by that is the one thing we've met as a group is we want to do things different. Okay. This age group, this age demographic in Southwestern Ontario, the talent pool is huge.
I couldn't agree more.
It's a big secret in Ontario, but we want to catch up to the talent level. So how do we do that? We promote it. We brand it. It's not just obviously film. All our games will be streamed live, but it's being involved in your hometown. It's given back to your community. All our teams will be entrenched in their community. We have league-driven campaigns. Right. We also, because we're our own entity, we're not involved in a minor sports program. We're not governed by one. We're not involved with a big, huge, an association umbrella where there's multiple levels. We are our own league. So the owners in our league are a vote. So we do everything together. Obviously, they're going to help promote their own team individually, but all decisions are made by us, by the owners. So that helps us pole vault into different things, and i.e. promoting our product.
Right on. Okay. So at this point, we've announced 6 teams, and can you just touch a little bit on that? Like, so the 6 teams are as follows.
Yeah, the 6 team are follows. So we have Alvinston, Killer Bees. We got Strathroy Jets. Right. We have Tilsonburg Thunder. We got the Stratford Fighting Irish. Excuse me, we've got the Elora Rocks. We have the Langton Royals. We will have a team in Halton Hills.
Excellent.
And we are speaking to multiple other organizations, cities, to see where we go with this. There's a fine line between walking and running a new league, and we think we're trotting right now. I understand. We want quality versus quantity. We want the right guys, and which is easier said than done, but we want people, again, to invest into their programs. It's not to put a piece of paper at your local variety store and say there's a game on Saturday night. We want people to promote their product, promote their program. I
like that. And that'll obviously be a lot of involvement in social media. You mentioned that you're in talks with a lot of teams. Are you going to cap the number of teams in your inaugural season?
It was brought up last night at our meeting. And again, what we do is our first 8 teams, even though we're announced 6, we've spoke about that. Everything now gets voted upon. Right. There's lots of stuff that comes into play if we go more. And right now it's the balls are up in the air on how many we go to 8 to 10 to 12. The interest level has been great, and we haven't even really officially launched until today.
So. Right, of course. And this is a huge day. And like I say, I know this has been in the works for a while now. I guess the question is that how did this kind of come about? Like, where was it that this kind of really started to garner steam?
Well, it garnered speed just before Christmas with some guys reaching out, and we were talking about this demographic of hockey, and there needed to be a change. Like I said earlier, we needed to start promoting the talent level in this age bracket. And then one meeting led to another meeting, and we're here. We got a hold of I was in contact with Mitch Gagne, who is the president of the Eastern Ontario Super Hockey League, who are coming into their second full season. They started with 4 teams. Now they're starting this season with 12, which is great. So that kind of started the angle of joining the 2 leagues partnership together. So so that's how the ball rolling, and one thing led to another. Then we started reaching out to some teams, and then the other was teams were reaching out to us. We understand after this announcement, we will have more teams reach out to us, and then we'll have to see what happens after that on what direction we go in.
Of course. And there's a lot to happen between now and when you guys decide to drop the puck. That is the next question. Like, I know there's some details within how you guys want to run the regular season, how you guys want to run games. Can you divulge a little bit into that? When do you guys plan to start? How many games? How is it going to be different?
Yeah, well, we were hoping to start in October, obviously with the COVID, and listen, if we're still in the situation, there won't be no league this year.
Course.
We'll obviously start up and we'll have a great campaign going for the following year, but there will be no hockey if COVID is what it is. And let's all pray and hope that everybody gets their vaccine and we're clear. But our goal is to start the first or second week of October, 24 game schedule, then playoffs. And then, like I said, the 2 leagues will meet up. The Eastern League and the Western League will meet up in what you would want to call it an all provincial championship.
How cool.
We are in the works of having an all-star weekend.
That would be really neat.
Yeah, we'll pit the Western League versus the Eastern League. More details to follow, obviously, on that. Again, what separates us from the other leagues? One, we have a salary cap. This will not be a pay the player league. Guys from out of town, sure, they will be compensated with their mileage and all that. But we are not in the motto of paying ex-pro players to come. We want guys to come and play. We don't expect them to pay in our league, but they're not going to have a second job with us. We're going to treat them right. They'll have equipment taken care of, and again, they'll have a great league to play in. The other thing is, yes, as I mentioned, all the games will be streamed live. The social media presence with us is mandated from the top end of the league to our individual teams. That's one thing that is missing in some other places.
I agree with that.
We want to promote our league, but we want to promote our players, promote our management, promote our owners. That this is the new, we'll call it the new wave. That might be a little hoaxy, but we want to take those kids that are 20 some to 30 some and get them on the map after their junior careers.
Right. And obviously, I think it goes without saying that you're looking to place them in a league that is competitive and not just something that they would find in, say, like, a beer league or shinny or vice versa, or et cetera, et cetera.
Well, for sure. And so we have, excuse me, we have a system in place that it's a player eligibility system that teams cannot stack teams with former pro players and this and that. That's how the competitive balance will be in our league. I mentioned the salary cap, but there's how the system works. It goes back to the players' playing experience. I won't get into the whole thing, but that's how it's rated. You're on a level, you're on a point system. So each team has a cap on a certain amount of players that can be used from various other leagues. And that's how the player system will be used. Keep going here. Sorry.
No, you're all right. Are you, so there's a lot of hockey in the area in Ontario. I mean, obviously Canada is very saturated with hockey, no question about it. Are you worried that this new league, maybe is oversaturation? Like, are you worried about that at all?
Oversaturated? No, because we have a new vision, and forward-thinking vision is, we're not going to worry about the other leagues that are out there. We're going to worry about ours. But the oversaturation, yes, that'll come into play on if we cap at the first year, and again, that growing the right way and not just growing fast. So, of course, it's there, but we feel we are the new thing.
Good. I like it. And like I said, I mean, personally for me, as a part of wanting to join with the Western Ontario Super Hockey League is your vision, and what you've put out on paper. It sounds really like legit. It sounds like the real deal. It sounds exciting. It sounds new. It doesn't sound like it's stagnant, and that's what I kind of like about it. In terms of what you said about the streaming, that's what I find really interesting, and maybe you could divulge a little bit more into that. Is you've said that every game's going to be streamed. How do you plan to accomplish that?
So yeah, so every team is mandated to stream their games. We'll be going through a company called Hockey Tech,
Okay.
which a lot of people are familiar with, that does the junior B and the junior A games and the American Hockey League games. So every team will have that. Let's not kid ourselves. We're not going to have 1,000 people watching our games.
Right.
We hope to gain followers, but the beauty of having our games streamed is the content that you can take off that. Right. A goal, a hit, a pass, taking that into our own social media platforms and sending that off. That is a great tool to have. The other thing is each team gets to do their own podcast, gets their own production. So right. You can put your own inserts in. Example, Joe's Diner in Stratford can put it in. You can have a Krabby Joe's in Tilsonburg on the dashboard. So we get our own production, and that helps give more back to our sponsors, partners, and so on.
And I'm glad that you brought that part up, because I think what's really important for any sort of hockey league or hockey level to succeed is going to be community involvement and going to be community support, because really I think we can both agree that without that backing, it's going to be really hard to operate.
Huge. So, and like I mentioned earlier, our teams will be community oriented, and that's part of the package on coming into our league, is that we want to see a vision. We want to see how you're going to be involved in your community. The demographic of our age group is that 20 to 30, but the teams will be made up generally of roots to their hometown. And so 65, 70% of them will have roots to their town. So one, yes, the local fans will know who they are, but they're more going to give back. Now that could be a food drive. It could be, COVID allows visits to the retirement home, your local Christmas parade, some stuff that's already been done in some towns, but we want to take it to the next level on getting entrenched into your community.
Right, because I think, again, we can both agree that the more visual you are in the communities, the more people will know about your product, about your league, and the more they will come and bring their butts and put them in the seats if they're allowed to at that given point.
Well, absolutely. And that's what we talked about, the events versus the hockey game. Right. The stuff that's going to happen in the stands or on ice contest. Listen, we're not reinventing the wheel, but we want to take it and go up a notch. So if you have your community behind it, if you run your golf tournaments and your barbecues and so on and so forth, you will get that following to come out to your games, and it's an extension.
So, and what is your goal when it comes to in-game? Because I know that's a huge thing when it comes to separating this league. I know that we've talked about it. At the end of the day, when somebody comes and they watch one of your games, one of your league games, what is the hope or what is the takeaway?
Well, takeaway, it's going to be fast. It's going to be fast. It's going to be a younger league compared to this demographic in other leagues. Hockey's hockey, but the one thing that we'll see is I don't think you're going to see a 16-1 game or a 10-1 game because of that competitive balance. We hope to have the 4-3 games, the 5-4. We have a different approach on our overtime. There's going to be 3-on-3, down to 2-on-2, down to 1-on-1.
Very exciting.
So there's some stuff we're throwing out there that's going to be different, not hoaxy, but different. I think what people will see, back to your question, is what's different. You'll see the fast pace. And carry on.
No, I'm just saying, like, from what I gather in our conversations, and you can echo this statement, at the end of the day, you want people to walk away and say, man, I had a great time. Like, that was pretty awesome.
Listen, that's the whole idea too, right? Is they walk away and do they remember the score? If you don't remember the score and you had a good time and you've just spent $20 or $30 at your local arena, helping support people that have given back to your community, that's pretty cool. I mean, obviously we're all competitive and the score is going to mean something, but if a person can come get entertained at a reasonable dollar, that's a win-win.
And obviously, this is a big question that I've kind of been waiting to ask you at a certain point. When it comes to this league and the launch and this announcement, this is fantastic stuff. But are you worried that with COVID that you're not going to be able to start on time? Is that something that you're doubting?
To me, it's an ongoing thing.
Right,
As
of
we said
course.
last night in the Zoom, is sitting here right now, we don't know. So
Right.
it'll be monitored on a week to week, on a month to month basis. Again, I'm no doctor. As we see the vaccines coming in, and this latest lockdown, we really hope and we think we will be starting camps in middle of September,
Right.
dropping the puck at your arenas in October. So it's an ongoing situation. Hopeful, confident, throw in whatever adjective you want. But at least the foundation is there. Whenever we get the green light
Right.
from our governments for our arenas, then it's go time.
Right. And you're the president. You're the president. You're the guy behind this whole thing, and it's your vision and it's your plan. And obviously, to see that come to fruition is going to be very exciting. But who is Jamie Petrie? For those of you who don't know you, who is
Yeah.
Jamie Petrie, the man? Who is he?
Before I get to Jamie Petrie, I would say this isn't just my vision. It isn't. It's a collective vision. I'm part of it, but the vision has been through the teams, through the people we've spoke to. That's the vision. It really is a bunch of people that have interest in this age demographic. That's the vision. It's I'm part of it for sure, but it's a group effort on the vision and how this is going to work. And I believe that's the only way that we are going to grow our brand. We don't look at this as a 1 or 2 year wonder, as we think this is going to blossom into potentially other regions wanting to be part of the Ontario Super Hockey League. That's down the road. Jamie Petrie is a guy that played junior hockey, that played senior hockey, that is coached junior A, junior B, junior C. But Jamie Petrie, in the last couple of years, when he goes to get his hockey fix with his son and daughter, and that seems to have gravitated towards this age demographic to watch hockey. As I said earlier, it is a secret. It's been a secret for a long time. I still love junior hockey. Still love watching the odd college game, but I love this demographic age group, and that's him right now as far as the hockey side. Father of 3, loves his kids, and this is a great. This would be my hobby. This is the hobby, and look forward to working with people like yourself and the owners and the players for sure.
Well, at the end of the day, Jamie, first of all, thank you for coming on and doing this podcast for us, and congratulations again on all the success up to this point. The ceiling is so high, and I've said that to you from the beginning. This is such an exciting endeavor to be a part of, and you could just honestly see it from the way you talk about it, that you're excited, that you're enthusiastic, and that the sky's the limit. Again, congratulations on everything. I guess final question to you is, like, what's next from here? Where do we go from here in terms of this league and after this announcement?
Well, what's next is now we will individually launch the teams. We'll get some information on who's behind the scenes of these teams,
Right.
To meet those people. One, who's running the teams, as far as management, and then the players. So that's the next step. Is we will launch each team in the preceding weeks, the teams that we announced, plus the new ones is in Halton Hills. And if we expand further, that's the next step. The next step as a league over and above that will be to get together and talk about COVID protocol and so on and so forth, how we can help promote the game. We have corporate sponsors that have already signed up with us.
Fantastic.
So that would be an ongoing thing. How can we, with people like yourself, how can we grow our band's social media? That, like I said earlier, that is a huge thing with us. I'm 50. I'm not 20 to 21, but the 20 to 21, it's Instagram, it's all that thing. So we want content, and that's a big thing going forward.
Fantastic. Jamie, it's been an absolute pleasure, pal. And again, congratulations. And I know we're going to have you on again because, we want to pick your brain on the developments, and we'll keep in touch for sure. Obviously, upcoming guests will have lots of those and in the news on that. But again, congratulations, and thank you very much for doing this. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. I won't carry on except that we're excited about this. And again, the group effort last night after the Zoom, my intuition before going into the Zoom was we are together. It's not lip service. I do believe we have the right people that has the foundation to start with this league, and we go forward.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Okay, buddy.
This Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast is brought to you by Joe's Diner. Come and enjoy Joe's all-day breakfast, located at 155 Erie Street in Stratford. Call 519-272-9933. And by Locker Room Lager. Dump and chill and enjoy these suds with your squad. Visit postgamebrewingco.com for details.
Oh, well, that was a lot of information, wasn't it? Once again, we want to thank Jamie Petrie, the president of the Western Ontario Super Hockey League, for coming on and joining us for the podcast. A lot of information, like I said, was going to be shared today, and I hope that it was informative enough for all of you that watched. I want to thank Joe's Diner, and I want to thank Locker Room Lager, our sponsors for the podcast. Thank you very much to them. And thank you for watching. There's going to be a lot of information. Make sure to join us on our social media sites. You can see them now. That is where you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And again, make sure to hit the subscribe button on the YouTube for our YouTube channel. That way you get all the latest updates on when we have podcasts, because all the podcasts will end up on YouTube on this channel. So we advise you to go in and take a look at all those, and make sure to follow along for all the latest information. There will be a lot of podcast information coming up as well in terms of subsequent guests that we'll have. Make sure to keep an eye out for that. Andrew Rogers, the host of the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast. Episode number 1 is in the books, and we'll encourage you to tune in to episode 2 when and if that, when that does arrive. We'll have tons of information on that. So once again, I want to thank all of you for watching. Wish you a pleasant day and a pleasant weekend, and we'll see you again next time. Thank you very much, and thank you for watching.